Ravens fans, buckle up because today's update is one of the best that we've gotten in a long time. Lamar Jackson returns. Several starters are back in the building. Man, this is exactly what we need headed down the home stretch. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn them notifications on, and leave a like on the video because it helps out the channel a ton. And also, hype this video up, baby. Let's go because we hyped for this news. First off, Lamar Jackson. He missed practice yesterday, even though it was just a walkthrough, but they did designate him with a toe injury. So we all looking around like, a toe injury? Lamar done had the toe injury, an ankle injury, a sore knee injury, a hamstring injury. He has just been getting beat up, but he did clear some stuff up. He said he suffered the toe injury early on in the first quarter of the game. So that would hopefully explain why Lamar Jackson, he just hadn't really been looking himself throughout that entire game. But he said he's feeling good for the most part. He's feeling okay. He obviously could be better, but he also could be worse. So we'll take it. Now, some other starters returned as well. Super duper Kyle. And he not only returned to practice because he's dealing with an ankle injury, but he was a full participant. Whew, that was one that I was nervous about because when he left the game against the Jets, and then he didn't practice yesterday, and Harbaugh said, oh, no, he should be fine. I was like, Harbaugh, look, you've been telling us the truth recently with injuries, but I was still a little iffy on it. But with him coming back to practice today, because we need it. We need you, Kyle, especially with Jamar Chase. He's going to be back in this game. We need you, Kyle. So that was just a blessing, straight up. Now, somebody else who returned is one of our receivers, Rashod Bateman. And he was at the walkthrough yesterday, but today was a real practice, and Rashod Bateman practiced in full. So him being back in the building, that will help so much. Look, Zay Flowers, he going to eat regardless, whether Rashod Bateman is in or out. But with Rashod Bateman returning, that will help out Zay Flowers so much because that'll take some attention off of him. But especially, this helps out for the Baltimore Ravens in the red zone. Now, we still got the same offensive line, so you're going to have to get open real quick, Rashod, but we know that you can. So it's nice that he's healthy again. We've missed Rashod for the past couple of weeks. Now, it didn't stop there. I just told y'all this was a great day, right? Keyon Martin, who had to come in a couple of games ago and fill in a major way, especially when Marlon Humphrey was out, he returned too, because after the last game he played, he had to stay in the area because of some chest issues. Harbaugh did say everything was fine, but he missed the following game. But it's nice that Keyon Martin, he was back in the building. Now, it don't stop there. Big money, Travis Jones. He had missed practice yesterday, but guess what? He returned too. And we know, with our defensive line, yeah, we can't afford nobody else being out. We obviously lost Nnamdi Madubuike for the season and could be longer. We lost Broderick Washington. It's supposed to be a short-term thing. Then Harbaugh said, oh, there's some setbacks and it's a long-term thing. Adisa Isaac, Harbaugh said the other day, like, oh, he had a setback, so it ain't looking good for it. So, yeah, we got enough bad news on the defensive line. It's nice that with Travis Jones, somebody who has been playing some excellent football, that he is back in the building and he is healthy again. So all those guys returning back to practice. Now, we did have some that were missing, and that it was a short list, but it was still a list. And that was Justice Hill and Taven Bryan, the defensive lineman. We were just talking about how we already lost enough defensive linemen, and now add Taven Bryan to that list. John Harbaugh did say he could end up going on a short-term injury reserve, so he would have to miss at least 4 games, and then he would be back toward the end of the season or for the playoffs. So we'll see what the Baltimore Ravens decide to do there. I got a question for you, and I want you to answer it honestly in the comment section. Be straight up with me about this. Do you feel personally that the Baltimore Ravens have done everything in their power to do their best at protecting Lamar Jackson? Go ahead and put it in the comment section. I really, really want to hear what y'all have to say about this, because it's been something that I've been wondering about. I've been thinking about for a while. We, of course, talked about it a few times on here, but do you really feel that the Baltimore Ravens have done their best job at protecting Lamar Jackson? Because what I'm wondering is, what's it going to take for the Baltimore Ravens to just use the same energy that they have and use on defense? When they had problems on defense, when they had issues on the defensive side of the ball, what did they do? They made changes. They didn't wait. They weren't like, well, let's take a... No, they made changes right away. They made trades. They got rid of Odafe Away. They brought in Alohi Gilman. They brought in Dre'Mont Jones. They ended up pushing Alohi Gilman, being on the back end, and having Kyle Hamilton just being able to do everything that he does now, which has helped a lot. They ended up benching Trenton Simpson. Teddy Buchanan, he got a lot more playing time. Trenton Simpson's still been playing, but he hasn't been starting. So they made a lot of different changes that were positive changes that helped the defense out because, we remember what it was looking like early on this season. But why won't they take that same approach on the offensive side of the ball, especially with your $300 million quarterback? It's one of those things I just really do not understand what the Baltimore Ravens approach is. So hopefully, again, it was a sign of things to come with them having Emory Jones active, even though it did come at the expense of Ben Cleveland. But hopefully it's a sign that, hey, we are going to make some changes. But at the same time, it's like, all right, I would have thought that an extreme for them to make a change would be Lamar Jackson getting hurt. But Lamar Jackson got hurt. He literally missed time because of this offensive line, and they still didn't do anything. And then he got the knee injury, the ankle injury, the toe injury. I don't know how it happened. Don't know exactly where it happened, what play it was. But he got a lot of injuries due to not having any protection, not having an offensive line. Well, having an offensive line, but that offensive line not executing good enough. So what do you think is going to take for the Baltimore Ravens to truly make a change at that spot? Somebody who ain't been with the team too long, but they have had such a huge impact is Dre'Mont Jones. That was a very safe trade for EDC, but it's a trade that ended up paying off big time. He has helped this pass rush unit a lot. He has helped Mike Green evolve a lot. Mike Green has been looking a lot better. And of course, it could be just that with more time and more experience, he's getting more comfortable in the game, because I think it's the same way with Malaki Starks too. But shout out to Dre'Mont Jones, because he's been in the backfield literally every single game that he's been in, and we look forward to him being in the backfield for many more. Go ahead and sack Joe Burrow a couple times if you want to. Now, his impact, it ain't just with him, but again, it's with Mike Green as well, because Mike Green is actually our leader in sacks with 2.5 sacks. And I know it's rough. It's rough, but hey, it's a process. It certainly is a process with our Baltimore Ravens. But then you look at these numbers from the last game. Mike Green, he had an 18.2% pressure rate. He had 4 quarterback pressures and 1 sack, all in one game. So shout out to Mike Green, because again, the numbers, they tell part of the story, and they tell a lot of the story, but they don't tell the whole story. If you watch the games, you just see he ain't getting stonewalled like he was a lot of times early on this season. He's been looking a lot better. So shout out to Mike Green. Shout out to Dre'Mont Jones. And hey, pass rush, y'all can just keep getting even better. Man, before I switched to Ridge, I was carrying around this thick, fat, rusty wallet. Y'all know the kind that you put in your back pocket and to make it look like you're working with a little too much back there. Basically, it was bad. That's where Ridge came into play. And they already known for their slim, modern wallets, and somehow they just made it even better. Say hello to the Ridge 2.0. This is the most refined version of the Ridge wallet. Ridge has been perfecting this thing for 12 years, and it shows. It's 10% lighter, more modular with upgraded cash straps, money clips, and it even has an AirTag attachment. And that new surface design with the Tonok logo looks clean. It's made with premium aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. Holds up to 12 cards plus cash and comes in over 50 colors and styles, including every NFL, MLB, and college team. And it's always a perfect gift, especially with their biggest sale of the year going on right now. And check this out. Every Ridge wallet now has an industry-leading built-for-life warranty, along with the RFID blocking technology. Over 100,000 5-star reviews. And Ridge even makes premium everyday carry gear like key cases, suitcases, even power banks. For a limited time, Ridge is having their huge Black Friday sale. So head to ridge.com/engraven. That's RIDGE.com/engraven to get up to 47% off your order, which is their biggest discount of the year. Again, that's ridge.com/engraven, RIDGE.com/engraven. So you can get up to 47% off for your order. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about it. So please support the channel and tell them that we sent you. We at my favorite part of the videos where we get to hear from y'all. Let's get straight into it. First question came from my guy Keyonte. He said, you thought I was crazy for saying draft a good quarterback last year. I wasn't saying that to replace Lamar. I was saying that to get a guy in the system with some of his traits so he can come in for 4 years, get comfortable for times like this. We have known the offensive line was bad. Lamar takes a lot of hits as it is, but plus the sacks. My guy is only human. Now we got him dealing with another injury. Even when I said grab Malik Willis or Justin Fields, I just hope we can get one of those two next season because we have to build an offensive line so it isn't going to get any better. What do you think now? Man, I don't think the answer is, all right, grab a quarterback with Lamar Jackson. Well, you of course want to have somebody who has similar traits to a Lamar Jackson as your backup so the offense can flow as possibly smoothly as it could. But the real solution, fix the O-line. The solution is not, get a better backup quarterback so if Lamar gets hurt. No, the solution, fix the offensive line so we ain't even got to deal with stuff like this. Next question came from my guy, Derrick. He said, hey, Ingraven, how are you, man? Ingraven, you know what I was thinking. What if the Ravens replicated the 2011 New England Patriots offense, right? When the Patriots had Gronkowski, Wes Welker, and Aaron Hernandez and still incorporated a little bit of Julian Edelman here and there. The Ravens practically have that with Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, and Rashod Bateman. Think about it. The offense fed the tight ends and wide receivers. Gronk had 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns. Welker had 1,500 plus yards, and Aaron Hernandez had 900 yards, practically 1,000 yards. So I think we should look up some film to replicate that offense. What do you say? And Welker was a shifty guy, but he's not as shifty as Zay Flowers, man. I don't know nobody who is right now. They could do. I think it's a little too late right now. I mean, you could look at some inspiration from that offense on the field only, not off the field. Ooh, yikes! But the offense is the offense. Ravens offense is the offense. They, of course, got some plays that they save. And I can say that with confidence because we've seen Todd Monken pull out some stuff really over these past couple of weeks, too. Okay, Monken, I know you had that in the bag. That's a real vault right there. But in order to replicate that offense, it's too late in the season to do that. The vibe is off. Next question came from my guy, Matt. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Keep the great content rolling. You're working hard putting these videos out, and we as fans greatly appreciate it. No, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll tell y'all that, man. He said, this has been a weird year, and this weekend against the Jets can allow us to put our heads above water a bit, but the vibes with the Ravens have been off ever since week 1. I can't describe it, but that confidence and that energy seems tanked. Even last year when we were 1-3, it doesn't change that vibe. Now being 1-5, that was a big hole, but is it me or is something has just been off? There seems to be some tension from the top down. I do agree with that. I do still think that there's been like this internal warfare with the Baltimore Ravens and the front office or the coaching staff, but they getting by right now. But I can see after this season that there'd be a lot of changes. But anyway, he said, now I think things will shift in terms of momentum and we will roll into the postseason and get that ring. We always talk about the Ravens having this great regular season, but tanking the postseason. But maybe it's the reverse. Maybe in the postseason we'll come together and finish this. That would be great, especially because they're winning now, despite them not being all the way there yet. We know this offense has just been, they've been getting by, but getting by ain't good enough. They got to be better, and they know they got to be better. Ronnie Stanley even said it himself. He said, we ain't going to win no Super Bowl if the offense keep performing like this. So I said, okay, Ron, I like that. That's real. We feel the same way. He talking like us fans. He said, I will say this, though. I believe this is a make or break year for Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar leaves if they are short of getting to the Super Bowl. I love Lamar, and I'd be hurt if he left, but if they don't get there, I would not be surprised if he wants out. Let's get that ring and keep him in Baltimore. Ooh, for you to end it like that. See, I was thinking about possible changes with the coach, but you talking about Lamar leaving. Wow. I wonder how he would. I don't want us to have that feeling. I don't want us to fall short of the Super Bowl. But I wonder if they did fall short for whatever reason, how he would feel towards the team, how he would feel towards the front office, how he would feel towards just everything. I know so much depends on so much. Nothing. It ain't like it's all black and white. Like, everything depends on everything. But I hope we don't even have to have that conversation. This question came from my guy, Jacob. He said, dang, Raven, love your videos. You're my #1 source for Ravens news and commentary. Thank you so much for doing what you do. I appreciate you, Jacob. Thank you, man. He said, I was wondering what your thoughts are on how you think Malaki Starks has played so far this season. I loved him coming out of Georgia, and as a big Georgia and Ravens fan, I was praying we would choose him, and I was super excited when they actually did. Oh, that's cool, man. So you got your college team, then you got your pro team, and when they both come together, that's a beautiful thing. He said he's had to step in and be a leader very early into his NFL career, which could turn out to be a good thing for him when it's all said and done. Do you think he's lived up to the hype? How much potential do you see in him, and was he worth the first round pick? Appreciate you, Jacob. I think Malaki Starks has been doing his thing. I think it's very, very hard to judge a safety because they either get a lot of sexy plays and highlight plays and whatnot, or it can be really quiet for them. Or actually, it can be loud because if they get mossed or something like that, they get a stiff arm and they miss a tackle, something like that. That could happen too. But I think with Malaki Starks, it's just been the same thing we were talking about with Mike Green earlier. Like it's been a turn. And I remember somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, "Oh, who's been your favorite Ravens rookie so far?" So I don't know, but I've been feeling like with the Ravens rookies, a lot of them they just hit this turning point. I don't know exactly when it was, but I feel like they all hit it at the same time. Like with Mike Green, he started to look a lot better. Teddy Buchanan, he started to look a lot better. Malaki Starks, he started to look a lot better. And maybe, I wonder if it was when they had Kyle Hamilton change his role to where he could be more free, and that just allowed the whole defense to look better overall. So maybe that was it. But as far as Malaki Starks, he's been doing his thing. He looks a lot more comfortable than he did early on. And actually, I think he looked pretty comfortable. Yeah, he looked pretty comfortable really the whole season for the most part. Because remember, in week 1, he had a pick. First drive of the season, Josh Allen threw him a pick. But he dropped it. So that would have been a nice way to get his career started. That would have been a nice confidence booster too. But I don't think he's looked bad consistently at times. There have been some times where he might miss a tackle or something like that, might be out of position a little bit. But he's looked pretty good overall throughout this season, in my opinion. And he's just continued to look better and better and more comfortable. Ravens lost their edge. Next question came from my guy Jake. He said, "What's up, team? Keep it clean. Shout out to you and the family. Hope all is well. My comment is the Ravens have lost their edge as far as picking people to help the team. They had a chance to pick up 2 defensive linemen with the $14 million they had, but instead they pick up some C and D players to fill in like a Band-Aid. Why not spend the money to me? I think they holding on to the money for the offseason to try and make a big splash, which they should have. Just spent that money on now and stop wasting Lamar's time because they're not protecting him. And I don't know what the problem is with the hardball, where he's not switching up players on the offensive line." Oh, that you must have said hardball. This must be voice to text. Anyway, he said, "Going to keep them sitting there on the bench and keep running this with the same offensive line. That's not protecting Lamar. And I have a feeling they keep playing this way. Lamar's going to get injured before the playoffs, and that's really going to mess us up." He's already injured, which is a sad part. He's already hurt. And again, still no changes. When will they happen? Who knows? Anyway, he said, "My thing is not showing no kind of grit to make the team better. EDC not making no picks to make the team better, and the owner is not stepping up to say anything about these decisions. When we had Ozzie Newsome, he would go out for those players to make the Ravens who they are since he left. Everything went downhill, and I wish they would get that edge back to pick the players that's going to make the Ravens like they used to be. No one fears the Ravens anymore." Now, with Ozzie Newsome, he certainly had his problems as well. EDC got his problems. Ozzie Newsome had his problems. I think Ozzie Newsome's problems were with definitely the wide receiver position, I would say. The wide receiver position, because, we ain't even got to go down that road. But anyway, he said, "In the league, we used to be one of the most feared teams besides Pittsburgh. Now everybody look at us like a joke, and we need to fix that." Well, I don't think everybody looks at the Ravens as a joke. They're certainly not feared like they used to be. But that's for a couple of different reasons. Number one, the defense had been playing really, really bad early on this season. Now they've been playing a lot better, which is great. But now with Lamar Jackson being hurt, it's just a different Lamar Jackson, not the same Lamar Jackson. He's still dangerous now. Don't sleep on him, but he's just different right now. All it takes for them to fear the Ravens, Lamar Jackson just make one crazy play. But also on the defensive side of the ball, that boy Kyle Hamilton, man. That boy is to be respected. Is the Ravens defense at a point where they're feared again? I don't think so yet. But with Kyle Hamilton doing what he does, they could be well on their way. But I think what would make them really feared, obviously Kyle Hamilton doing him, but if our pass rush was like really, really like that too. Anyway, he said, "We need to bring that fear back to let people know when you play us, you're going to walk away hurting." So I just want to know, what are your thoughts about this? This is why I say they should let Harbaugh go. We messed up when we let Mike McDonald go. We should have went ahead and put him as a head coach because look what he's doing with Seattle. We would have probably been to the Super Bowl by now if they let him take over. Harbaugh is just holding on for dear life, and all we're going to do is just keep him. We're not fixing those spots like we used to. So I just want to know your thoughts. Sorry for the long comment, but I just had to get this off my chest. Take care, and I'm out. Okay, shout out to my guy Jake. Favorite play. Next question came from my guy Brent. He said, "Anybody what's going on? Hope all is well. It's been a long minute since I sent in the question." Yeah, man, it has been. He said, "But stepping aside from the offensive line, I have a different type of question. Lamar Jackson has always been my favorite quarterback, and Kyle Hamilton is becoming my favorite defensive player. I could understand why. They are the both of the best on each side." Anyway, he said, "I want to know, what is your favorite play that you have seen from both of them?" Ooh, from both of them. Oh, man. From Kyle Hamilton, probably the whether it's the tip interception in the San Francisco 49ers game, that Christmas game, where he was like, I think he was on the ground, and then I forgot what happened, but he got knocked to the ground, then he ended up getting up and catching the pick, or the pick six that he caught on Deshaun Watson to start the game against the Browns a couple of years ago. For Lamar Jackson, oh man, I don't know. Because Lamar got there's so many to choose from. Favorite play, maybe that 74-yard run against the Dolphins, even though he lost that game. Maybe the runs, the same play that he would do, the little read option against the NFC East, where he got it on all four NFC East teams that year, and they all went for big gains or touchdowns. No, you know what? Probably the Isaiah Likely play from last year. That one, in the Bengals game, where Lamar scrambling, looking, and then he threw it up to Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely jumped up and came down. Probably that would probably be mine for Lamar Jackson. He said, for me, as far as Kyle Hamilton goes, I think my favorite might be the pick six versus the Browns at the bank, where he calmly walked into the end zone. Okay, so we was on the same page for that one. And then he said, for Lamar, I think that stiff arm from last year on Trey Hendrickson and still getting a touchdown to Likely might be my favorite play. We was on the same page. I should have kept reading. I know some of y'all, and put in the comment section if you think like this. I don't be lying, though. I know some of y'all probably be thinking that I be reading the questions ahead of time and then saying something that's in it. I don't. We really don't. A lot of us at Team Keep It Clean, we all crazy, so we all just be on the same page like that. It's literally one of the craziest things. When I see stuff like this, like we just went through, I gave my opinion and how I felt about the Kyle Hamilton and Lamar Jackson plays, and then boom, he had them same ones. That's crazy, man. Anyway, he said, we'd love to hear your favorite plays from the two. Appreciate you for taking the time, and just like the Jets were on Sunday, I'm out.